Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to the series that just helps you understand everyday objects and things. But in this video, this was another requested video that was about, can you please describe a celebrity? So I thought I would talk about Donald Trump, since he is in the news lately, and you will be hearing about him probably for the next few months, regardless if he becomes the next president of the United States or not. So we're going to look at Donald Trump, and I'm going to describe him as a basic speaker, an intermediate speaker, and then an advanced speaker. Let's begin. So looking at this picture of Donald Trump, you can see he has maybe a not so happy face, so he doesn't look very happy. He usually looks like this, maybe a confused expression, and he has an interesting haircut. You can see he has maybe blondish hair. I don't know if it's his real hair or not. Some people say maybe it's his real hair, maybe it's not his real hair. But that's a basic definition of just what Trump looks like. So if you were to describe somebody, to say, well, it's somebody that has a maybe sad expression or angry expression on his face, and he has interesting blonde hair that's combed over. So this is a comb over. So he has an interesting comb over. Typically, a comb over is when you have your hair growing long on one side and then you brush it over to cover a bald spot, something. But Donald Trump has an interesting weave of hair. It's almost like a bird nest, something like that. Anyway, so that's a basic definition of Donald Trump. So now we're going to get a little bit more intermediate, and hopefully by using this description, you could actually tell someone that this is Donald Trump without them looking at the picture. So if I'm describing this in an intermediate way, I might say, okay, I'm thinking of a guy. He has kind of maybe a sad or angry face, or you could describe this as a scowl, S-C-O-W-L, scowl. So he has maybe I can't do a really good Trump impression, but that's basically how he looks. So he has a scowl on his face, and he's always thinking about business and how he can do things, and whatever he's imagining for the presidency, assuming he becomes president. So we'll see, maybe he will become president, maybe he will not. But Donald Trump, or the man I'm thinking of, so yes, I'm describing Donald Trump, but he has kind of a comb over of blonde hair. It almost looks like it's a weird woven hairstyle, if it's real. But it's a blonde haircut, and it almost looks like a soft helmet. He has like a helmet on his head. Maybe it's, I don't know, hopefully it's real hair, but if not, it doesn't really matter. So Trump also typically has, it looks like he was in a tanning booth, so he's a pretty white guy, but maybe he has kind of white around his eyes, and the rest of his face is a little bit darker. Maybe he goes to the tanning salon. So that is an intermediate definition, or an intermediate way of describing Trump. But now I'm going to talk maybe a little bit about how he looks, but maybe about his face and maybe some history behind that face, why he has that expression. So I don't know anything about Donald Trump personally, really. I've never read any of his books, and I've never spoken with him personally either. But anyway, here's a more fluent way of describing him. So right now we're looking at Donald Trump, and you can see he has a really interesting hairdo. So clearly he spends a lot of time at the hairdresser or wherever he goes to get his hair fixed like that, because clearly he has many woven parts to his hair, and it really looks like a piece, honestly. So a piece is what we would call a toupee, or a hair piece. So a piece, like P-I-E-C-E, a piece on his head. So it looks like a piece. A lot of people think it is a piece, but who knows? I can't say for sure. He also has, it looks like he has a mask on because he often gets tans, I'm guessing, just by the way his skin looks. So the area around his eyes is a little bit lighter than the rest of his face. And you can see that maybe he has a scowl because maybe he's not quite happy with how he looks. Or actually recently, maybe I don't remember how long ago it was, but recently he was outed. So to be outed by something means that you have a secret told about you. It was outed that his book, The Art of the Deal, was ghost written by someone else. So this is another really interesting phrasal verb, or actually not a phrasal verb, but an interesting phrase, or an interesting way of describing someone that writes a book for someone else. So a ghost writer. So write, like writing a book. A ghostwriter is someone that will write a book for you, but will give you the credit. So if you pay the money, so this person who is the ghostwriter for that book, The Art of the Deal, he got like half the money, half the royalties from the book, but he recently came out and he outed Trump saying, like, I can't believe this guy is going to be president or running for president. So the guy that wrote the book for Trump is saying that maybe he won't be a good candidate for the presidency of the United States, and maybe that's why Trump has his patented scowl. The last thing I'll mention about this, to talk about having a patented something. So when you produce a product, maybe you have a particular like an iPhone, something like that, you have a particular feature or a physical thing about the shape of a device, you can patent that. It means you can tell the government, hey, I created this, this is my invention, and no one else can use this without my permission. So this is my patented thing. But if you have a patent in the kind of everyday sense of the word, to patent something, or if you have a patented expression, this just means that you have something that's particularly you. So when you think of Donald Trump, you think of the haircut and the patented frown or the patented scowl that he usually makes. So if you have a friend that always has a kind of dance or something, that he has like a patented way of moving or a patented expression. Anyway, that's the advanced form, the fluent way of describing Donald Trump, and hopefully you can think of a few more things to describe as well, but just get specific. So pick something, even looking at his hair, you can describe the color of it, the shape, how it was done. There are lots of interesting things you can use to describe that, but the more you take time to practice describing things like that, the more it will help you express yourself fluently. So right now, I'm not reading from a script. I don't have anything I'm using. I just am really thinking about what I want to say, but as I say it. And so that's the kind of way that if you can practice doing that, you really just try to think of different ways of expressing things, and then practice doing that. And that's what's going to help you get fluent faster. If you've enjoyed this video, do hit that like button, become a subscriber to the EnglishAnyone.com YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native, and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.